Right. Right. Well, now, David, I think every game's different, and I think every team's different. And, you try and monitor, as a coach, you try and monitor how the ups and downs of the game are going. You want to get a feel for what you're doing offensively, and then you want to, and how your defense is playing. And, our defense was playing awfully well. And I didn't want to, we went for the 4th and 1 early in the game and made it, which we're about at the 43-yard line or something like that.
Yeah, in your own territory, too.
Yeah, and, that was the beginning of the game, and I felt good enough about how we prepared all week defensively that I thought we'd play well. But, I think those things all, you kind of, by instinct or whatever you want to call it, karma, whatever, you kind of get a feel for it. And by punting the ball, I wanted to make them have a long field. And if they were going to score, they were going to earn it. And it wasn't going to be something that we were going to give them, a short field. So I think every game's different. And this team defensively is very different than last year's team, and sometimes when you would go for it a year ago, we were going to try and protect the defense a little bit and also get your momentum a little bit offensively and kickstart them.
Well, I think you have not certainly. You've gone for 4th downs. You punted sometimes. I think, you kind of have taken it situation by situation. I thought, just an observation on the game the other night, and your 3rd down conversions didn't seem as crisp, didn't seem as sharp. Right. And I'm talking like the 3rd and 3s, the 3rd and makeable stuff. I got to assume that was something Coach Borges and you guys kind of looked at and said, we're going to have to do a little bit better job with that, because you guys came up short on several of those in that game against New Mexico. Seemed like you were putting yourselves in good position, on 1st and 2nd down, and then not always getting it on the 3rd. Not that you're going to go 100%.
Right. Well, we were really only 7 of 19 on 3rd down conversions, and that's under 50%. Now, you're up in that 40% range, which on a national average isn't bad. I mean, that's not bad offensive football, but, I think we were out of rhythm a little bit. We missed some cuts in there a couple times when we had some opportunities. Obviously, there's enough credit and bad news to go around, blocking at the point of attack or whatever it might be. But, we've got to be more consistent. And we were a little bit out of rhythm, I thought. And so those things we've got to execute better.
All right, now let's go out to some questions here at the Claim Jumper for the coach, Brady Hoke. First up, yes, sir, how are you?
Pretty good. First things first, I want to say thank you. 5-2 sounds really good right now for a San Diego football team.
For any San Diego football team, right? Is that what you meant? Any San Diego football team? Okay.
Yes. Even though some people it should be 7-0, except for a couple of things, for the referees and video people. Anyway. Hey, Coach, at 5-2, has that winning record, helped out recruiting at this stage of the game so far mid-season?
Well, I think it always helps. The positive exposure, the positiveness that and how we're playing. I think it always helps. I think the biggest negative for us is we only have 2 scholarships left. I think our guys have done a great job, the assistants, and really getting out into the different areas and out in the community and getting with the coaches. So that part of it's a little bit of a negative. But, I think, believe me, we'd rather be 5-2 than 2-5, and we got a lot of work in front of us.
All right, thank you for the question. We got a few more. You're just lining them up tonight, Polly. Oh, this is very orderly. Okay, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Coach, congratulations on 5-2. Last week during the New Mexico game, Ronnie Hillman went down, didn't come back.
Right.
What's his status going into Saturday?
Well, he'll be fine. He's fine. He had a little bit of a hip pointer, and I honestly don't know what that is. I've never had one. And but it's like a high ankle sprain now. That's a new term to me too. I thought it was just an ankle sprain, but he'll be fine. He's practiced all week. We held him out of a little bit on Tuesday, but he did everything today.
It was a cold night there too, and you and I talked about it on the field. I was shivering after the game. You were fine.
Yeah.
But
cold.
It was just cold. I mean,
me?
you could have brought – yeah, right, I know. There's Midwest. I know. It was only in the 40s. I was too cold. But you could have maybe brought Casey into that game and maybe even – I don't know, could you brought Ronnie back, but – it was one of those nights where if you weren't loose, maybe you didn't want to just take a risk at it in the second half.
Well, Ronnie worked real hard, during his time off the field. I mean, he was doing things with the bike and all that stuff. And Walter was ready, and believe me, Walter wanted to go. But, we just thought that, believe it or not, the game we thought we had in our control. And it was best to see if Walter would take another week to heal up.
All right. We have a future Aztec
like
there
that.
lining
there you
up
go.
for the question there.
There you go.
For the coach. Yes, sir. What do you have?
Hi, Coach. A lot of people at my school have been talking about the new mascot that just came out.
Uh-huh.
And I was just wondering about what's your opinion about it, and what was your team's reactions to it?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, the Aztecs, when you look at their culture and the Jaguar Warrior and the Eagle Warrior, being part of it, and the Shorn ones. I mean, we've done a lot of research into this, and, we still have Monty, and that will always be, but, this is a playful character. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Have you been out there for the Warrior Walk yet to see the guys in it? Well, you better start getting to be part of the Warrior Walk.
Yeah.
Right? 2 hours before every single game in a parking lot. And these kids, they talk about it all the time.
Yep.
I mean, you fans that are listening right now, and those of you who are here, and you say, well, okay, the Warrior Walk, it sounds good. You don't have any idea what kind of effect it has had on this team. And,
yep.
They've gone out and played great football, 3-0 at home, and these kids, man, they hear you out there. They're paying attention, and I think they're starting to see. Maybe you are too, Coach. I mean, the interest in this team picking up a little bit, people a little bit more enthused, and that just helps these kids more than people can even imagine.
Well, it does. I mean, this game is played from the neck up. I mean, it really is. After you get all the conditioning and you recruit the guys that have the passion for playing the great game that it is, and in the weight room and everything else you do, on game day, it's basically from the neck up, and you start preparing for that on Monday. We put that last game to bed, win or lose, on Sunday, and you got to prepare for the next one because, there's a lot with visualization and how you want to play and how you perceive yourself as a football team and the confidence that you have. And that's part of being, you talk to elite athletes, I can promise you they feel awfully good about who they are and what they do.
All right. Well, the Aztecs are feeling pretty good about what they're doing. I know all of us here are feeling pretty good about it, right? 5-2, going for win number 6 Saturday in Laramie. We'll talk about the Wyoming Cowboys when we come back. Also, our California Bank and Trust Student Athlete of the Week. Chris Ello along with the head coach of the San Diego State Aztecs, Brady Hoke. The Aztec Coaches Show continues from Claim Jumper in Grossmont Center on AM 600 Kogo. All right, Wyoming coming up Saturday. We talked about it earlier. First of all, they're 2-6. They're 0-4 in the conference. But seriously, no way you should be fooled there, or anybody should be fooled by those numbers. They have played 5 ranked teams this year.
Right.
I don't know that anybody in the nation has played 5 ranked teams this year. So this is a team that is still very dangerous, and you guys know it.
No, there's no question. I mean, you look at the schedule. They played Boise and they played Texas, TCU, Utah, and Air Force. And at one
time,
go back
through that again. I mean, okay, Boise,
Texas,
Utah, TCU. I mean, these are the top, not just 20, but these are the top 5 teams in the nation they've played.
They played one heck of a schedule, and believe me, they are a physical, tough football team. And Dave Christensen does a great job coaching. He's got a great staff. They are a team that they have the quarterback, Austin Carter Samuels, back, who we're still trying to find in Qualcomm because he made us look pathetic the way we played the last 14 minutes and 49 seconds of that game. And so we've got our work cut out for us. They're changed their offense a little bit where they're going to go back to more of a true spread and throw the ball a little more. They've lost a couple kids from their senior class offensively that were very good players for them. So they've got a good football team. They are a tough football team. Going to Laramie is never fun, I don't think, just because of they'll be rabid fans and they love their Cowboys.
Yeah, and you have to, I guess, be asked the question, although in the Mountain West Conference it's not as pronounced as it would be anywhere else, but Laramie, Wyoming is 7,000 feet. I mean, we always hear about Denver, the mile high and the altitude. Laramie's 2,000 feet higher than that. Do you do anything different, take any different precautions to play a game at this altitude? I mean, you can't totally ignore it, right? I mean, you have to...
You can't?
No, I don't know. I'm asking you.
Honestly, I think people make way too much of it.
Okay.
And I've taken a team there before and played, and you know what? If your kids are in condition and if they're tough-minded, it's not going to be a big deal. We play a ton of kids on defense.
Yeah.
First of all, and so we're in. I would think pretty good shape. So I'll be honest with you, Chris, because I got asked it all week. And to me, we're going to play on a football field. It's going to be 53 yards wide and 120 yards, 100 yards field, and we'll have 2 hash marks, 2 goal posts, and we're going to go play football. And it doesn't matter where we play. What we've done all week and how we prepare and how we prepared since January. I mean, hell, it's not rocket scientist. I mean, it's going out there and playing a game.
Well, darn it then. I promise I will sprint right on up the stands to my press box, and I will not breathe even heavily at all.
Well,
how do you like that?
Well, I think it's good. And
I will do my best.
I think that's good.
All right. Real quick now, offense side of the ball, defensive side of the ball, maybe one thing on each side that you're looking for your guys to, focus on, maybe improve on a little bit more coming into this particular game Saturday.
Well, from an offensive perspective, I'm going to still hit that same drum. We got to run the football, and we've got to do a better job. I thought our leverage up front on the right side of our line played a little higher than it needs to, and I know Darryl Funk, our offensive line coach, has been on their tails about that, and those guys got a lot of pride. So, we need to run the football, and then I think when we have the opportunities to execute plays, and that means that we take care of the football. We don't have the drops that got us out of sync a little bit last week. We do those things, and we'll be in good shape. I think from a defensive perspective, we've got to go chase this quarterback around, and it was very similar to playing the guy at Utah State. A very good athlete, can make plays with his feet. This guy makes really. He's still looking to throw the ball as he scrambles, and he's really good on the run throwing the football, which most quarterbacks, that's kind of a negative for him. So we've got to contain him, and we've got to make sure that they have a hard time running the football. And I think the big thing, Chris, is in the kicking game. They do an awful lot in their kicking game from a fake perspective with punts and how they line up. And believe me, it gives you headaches, in the preparation. And at the end of the day, though, they're still punting the football. So there's a lot of window dressing there, but there's also things that we've got to make sure that we've dotting our I's and crossing our T's.
All right, 30 seconds or less. How's your kick and punt return game right now? I know we've talked about it.
Uh-huh.
You guys haven't really busted anything, although I thought the kick return, looked the last couple of weeks, I think it's opening up a little more for you.
Well, I think Brandon Davis has done a good job back there for us. He's a vertical guy who's got good speed, and we blocked things pretty well last week. I think with the punt return, we got to do a better job with 1 or 2 guys, as far as the holdup goes. And, Larry had the one fumble last week, and he's got great hands. But, we just got to come through with that part of it.
All right, hey, thanks to everybody coming out to the Claim Jumper. Give yourselves a round of applause. Lindsay, thank you so much for having us. Kevin Boyle, our on-site engineer. Mitch and his crack promotion staff. Scott Horvath, Polly, Kevin Finnerty back in the studio. For the coach, Brady Hoke, let's hear it for the First Lady, Laura Hoke, Chris Sello. Saturday, Aztecs, Wyoming at 11 a.m. right here on AM 600 Kogo. Good night.